everyone, and welcome to another installment of Monday Night X-Wing. I am your host, Marcus, and tonight is not Monday night, nor are we at our normal location. Tonight, we are at the X-Wing Canadian Championship in Hamilton, Ontario. This recording is of the final match, and it is going to be one hell of a show. As always, I am joined by Mr. Hosey to tell us about these lists that these guys are fielding today.
Thanks, Marcus. So we have on the left side will be Ron, running his 4 Blue Squadron pilots and a Bandit Squadron pilot, his Rebel Swarm list. And on the right-hand side, we have Jeff running his Lando Calrissian and Chewbacca list, the 2 YT list. Lando has pushed the limit, Millennium, Falcon, Nien, Nunb, and C-3PO. And Chewbacca has Recon Specialist, Vet Instincts, and Jan Ors. The tech behind these lists is pretty straightforward. The swarm will basically swarm the YTs, and Chewbacca will, with his Recon Specialist, will have 2 focuses, but Jan Ors will be able to convert one of them to an evade. And Lando, with his any straight maneuver, will be green and will be able to give Chewbacca an additional action, basically a target lock on whoever he needs. With his push the limit, he'll be able to either focus or evade, provided by the Millennium Falcon. And with C-3PO, that'll probably give him a little bit more survivability if he gets focused down. And now we'll get right into the initiative roll. I'm also joined by 2 veteran MNX players. We have Eric and Lucas.
Hello.
Joining us. So we just saw the initiative roll there, and Jeff on the right-hand side has 1, and he placed his asteroid placement. Now, how important is it, the asteroid placement in this matchup?
I think it's real important for Jeff. He definitely wants to break up that swarm of B-Wings and the Bandit as best he can. He definitely doesn't want to get focus fired. So if he can get the B-Wings to go on either sides of asteroids, breaking them up, I think he'll have a better chance.
Yeah, because you don't want to take those B-Wings through those asteroids because their maneuver dial is not forgiving.
Also, I like to, when I'm doing the asteroid placement, if you're flying a bigger ship like Jeff is, trying to find those areas where you can place the asteroids to give you enough time or enough space to turn around. This way you're not running yourself into asteroids because you have the bigger base, and it's going to be harder for you to move through them. So it looks like Jeff's got a box placed on his side of the field to be able to do that.
So now we're going into turn 1 with the B-Wing swarm on the bottom left-hand side, and the double YT on the top right-hand side there. I faced this list earlier in the Nationals on the Nationals day, and all he did was just skirt around the outside. And is that a basic strategy that the double YT list would do?
Yeah, I've seen that strategy employed quite often. You get Chewbacca going out in front with Lando coming up behind, doing a green maneuver, giving Chewbacca extra actions. You definitely want to keep them close and not split them up. And if you go up one side of the board, you have the board edge on your back, so you can't get outflanked.
I'm watching Ron do a hard turn with all his B-Wings in his Tala there, and that's the exact same opening that he squared off with me and my list during the Canadian Nationals.
And how did you do against him there?
I didn't do too well. As you can see, he's in the finals, and I'm here commentating.
So right now, Chewbacca has Jan Ors and the Recon Specialist, and the tech behind that, like I was explaining earlier, is allowing him to take a focus and evade every single turn. He most likely will never do a double focus, as he has no need for that, but he will be focus evading every single turn. And with Lando giving him that extra action, he'll be able to target lock if he needs to.
It's interesting seeing Ron move up so quickly, trying to get to that first shot, and I think it's trying to surprise Jeff while he's at it to maybe get the edge on making the turn in. That way he can maybe either block when they do get to the first contact, or set himself up for a good second round shot.
Yeah, it seems like he's trying to beat him to the corner here. So it looks like Jeff has a couple options: go to the corner or make a hard turn here through this asteroid field.
Yeah, going into turn 3, he's either going, the B-Wing swarm will either want to continue onto that corner or cut in down the middle to get some shots.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Ron does if he fans out, because I've seen him do that in a few matches to cover his bases. But
Yeah, here we go with the turn in.
So he turns in with his Bandit Squadron, and he 3-straights with one B-wing.
This is kind of good for Jeff because he wants Ron to break up his formation like he's doing. Definitely doesn't want to be focus fired. So we'll see if Jeff goes to the corner or if he makes the
And he barrel rolls that
turn through the
number
asteroids.
1 B-wing into there.
yeah,
Just keeping his options open
That's
for
right.
the next turn.
oh, he does make the turn. I haven't seen this match being played live. I had to leave before the finals, but well, it's interesting how he decided to cut in. I think that plays well for Jeff early going. I always forget that the YT has the one sharp turn, or the one hard turn, that it actually is a lot narrower than it looks.
Yeah, and it's such an effective move for on big ships.
Yeah,
And
for a
big
lot of
play
new
ships.
players, the one turn on the large ships basically lines you up with your corner to corner. If you want to learn how to do that, there's a couple of articles out there about showing you how to do that. So first volley of shots here, successfully landing one hit on the bandits, but then the bandit manages to evade one of them.
Then it looks like Chewie shot and took off one shield.
And the bandit shoots back, and Chewie completely evades that one. Going into turn 4, and now we have multiple options for the swarm. Either continue to flank around on the side, and knowing that Lando has to be within range 1 of Chewbacca, do we think that Chewbacca will turn in, or will he continue going straight? Does he want to face the swarm face on?
I think his safest play is to go straight here. He doesn't want to turn towards them in case all the B-wings turn at him.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to get these B-wings back into position just with that big asteroid there. So it'll be interesting to see how he finishes these 3 Bs off.
Ron used some tactical bumping there, slowing his bandit down. It's a good play. A lot of good players will use that to their advantage.
Yeah, the tactical bumping your own ships to position yourself in a tactical position is a pretty well-known strategy in the game. He's just adjusting his 3rd B-wing there to make sure that it's facing the right direction for the next turn.
Great movement on Ron's part.
And it looks like, he shoots forward 4. Focus evades again, and we'll see this action basically the whole entire match. And also he's keeping that stress on Lando just because he's going to push the limit every single turn as well.
Yeah, but that 4 was a green maneuver because of Nien.
So he focus evades as well. And with a focus evade action on
Oh wow, 2 hits and a crit.
2 hits and a crit. And he's shooting at the Z95 with blanks. So he lives 1 more turn.
So just a couple shield damage there on B-wing number 1.
And he spins the evade from Lando. He wants to avoid as much damage as possible because the swarm is the counter to the YT, correct?
Yeah, for sure. And especially this type of rebel swarm with so many hit points. It's definitely going to be tough. Jeff's in tough here.
A hit and a crit lands on Lando.
Yeah, Ron brought 32 hit points to the table with those 4 Bs and the headhunter, and trying to chew through all that in an hour timed match is very difficult to do. And if you go for the Tau, you're kind of ignoring the big heavy hitter ships early in the game. So there's no real good option at fighting this kind of list. It's aside from doing the maneuvers to split up the shots and minimize how much you're going to get from those Bs.
So going into turn 5 here, what's the focus on for the Rebel Swarm? Do they take out Chewbacca first, or they take out Lando first? Because in the match that I faced this list on, I focused everything I had on Chewbacca. Any thoughts on that?
In my opinion, I think Lando's your first target. He's the one that's giving up some extra actions. He's got push the limit, and if you can get some crits on that big hull early, you can either kill it faster, or you can actually do some stuff to cripple it and give yourself the advantage later in the game. Chewbacca's got that defensive tact. Even though they're both shooting at pilot skill 7, that doesn't really play in here because it's Ron's ships are all 2. So I think Lando is the target.
Just as a counterpoint, I would actually say Chewbacca's a target. Chewbacca being a great late game, end game ship, not being able to soak in crits and just soak in regular damage. Could be a while to take Chewbacca out if he lasts to the end game.
So you want to take him out early?
As
quickly as possible.
That's what I always like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And in my game, I think I took out Chewbacca first, but and for me, I had a rebel captive on my Echo, so Lando was getting double stressed every turn.
Yeah.
So here we had Chewbacca turn and Lando goes straight.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Is this going to cause an issue for him next turn? Because obviously the ships are not going to be close to each other.
Yeah.
Ooh, big hit on the Z, lands 2 hits. Damaged engines, treat all sharp turn maneuvers as red maneuver. And another hit and a crit on him with only 1 evade. So our first kill of the game goes to Lando. And the Bandit Squadron pilot is down. So it looks like now he's changing his focus onto Chewbacca.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, on Lando, right? No, onto Chewbacca.
Yeah, it's interesting that he's splitting up his fire a little bit here. He might be liking the closer shots on Chewbacca versus the range 3 shots on Lando here.
And not to mention C-3PO on Lando also providing that extra evade if predicted properly. So going into turn 6, we have the YTs kind of facing in opposite directions or perpendicular directions. Not sure how he's going to manage to keep them within range 1 of each other while removing that stress off Lando. What are his options here? Because the B-Wings look like they have superior positioning.
Well, he's got to turn Lando back in. I think he needs to reform up with Chewbacca here. Chewbacca might do a large move to try to jump past the B-Wings here.
So you think he'll go straight over that asteroid?
A right bank 3 to me would make a lot of sense because Ron's got that asteroid to block a 2K maneuver. The only thing is if Ron thinks that's going to happen, he can hard turn into it. It'll be a tough play to see what happens, but that would make a lot of sense to force Ron's hand on some more tricky maneuvers.
So now that number 4 B-Wing sitting in the very back.
Yeah. And that's exactly what he did, trying to block that maneuver.
Yeah. That 3 turn you were discussing earlier?
Yeah, that the bank 3.
Because I don't think the YTs have a 3 turn, right?
No, I don't think so.
3 bank.
3 bank, yes.
Yeah, right on.
So he blocks himself onto the asteroid but doesn't receive any damage. Number 2 ship won't be able to shoot this turn. Number 1 ship is in a great position to land some range 1 shots on those YTs.
Looks like we do have a bump there though, so he won't get an action.
And the number 4, is the B-Wing positioning is perfect right now for next turn.
Yeah, he's really leading himself well, anticipating where the YTs are going to go, and making sure he can get as many arcs on him as possible.
And it looks like he did do the 2. Would the 3 would have made him jump across? It probably would.
It looks like he might have made a 3, yeah.
But he gets bumped by number 3 and lands on an asteroid.
Oh, that's not good.
And gets a blank, which doesn't suffer any damage, but he won't be able to shoot or take any actions this turn. So he's basically a sitting duck for all the other B-Wings. Luckily for him, number 3 doesn't have a shot on him. Number 2 is on an asteroid, so he can't shoot. And number 4 is probably at range 2, but not through an asteroid. He will focus target lock on Lando. Too far away. to assist Chewbacca in any way, but he did do a turn maneuver, so it wasn't green, or was it? It's one bank was green, and he
Blanked
flubbed
it.
the shot.
Oh, target lock.
And
Nothing.
flubbed it again.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a double flub.
6 blanks is terrible. I think we've all had that happen
Yeah.
to us at some point.
One hit lands on Chewbacca.
Oh, that hurts.
And another 2 hits lands on Chewbacca. So it looks like he's trying to focus down Chewbacca because he's the easiest target right now.
Yeah, just
But
keep
number 3.
hammering away, and you might as well.
He predicted 1, so he gets 2 evades
Nice.
from his C-3PO prediction.
And right now, Ron's in a good spot to take out Chewbacca in the next turn because there's not a lot of options for Chewbacca in where he can go on the next turn. And I think any movement, say that 4 moves 1 forward, you've got a good fan of fire to at least get a couple shots off on Chewie.
Yeah, he does a really good job of having that dragnet of arcs across the whole corner of the map, basically. So wherever these YTs go, he's gonna have a shot at them. Now, if you're the YT pilot, do you split them up or try to bring them back into formation?
At this point, I would definitely try and get them back to formation, but I think what's more important is to minimize how many shots you're going to be taking, because he's got 4 shots against your 2, so if you can get trading 1 for 1 is a lot better than trading 2 for 1. So try and get them back together to focus down the Bs one at a time, but stay out of those lines of sight. That's standard X-Wing play, so let's see what happens.
Looks like he's being aggressive with 1 and 3 to head off Lando here. And he's leaving 4 and 2 to take out Chewie, it seems.
Yeah, with 4 basically full health B-Wings, it's going to be tough for the YTs to predict.
Oh, and Jeff makes a turn back towards where Lando's going. This is interesting.
Which is good for him because he wants to be near Lando. And he focus evades again and the 1 bank to clear the stress. And he's probably going to focus evade as well. Yep, focus evade on Lando. He has to start thinking defensively now.
Absolutely.
Can't afford any aggressive target locks. He already has 2 ships barreling down on him. Number 2 and number 4 with target locks. Ooh, good hit.
And
Lands 3 hits on number 3. And lands 2 more hits on number 3.
Number 2's taking a shot at Lando as well.
Now, why would he not shoot at Chewbacca? 3 hits on Lando.
Because of the target lock that number 2 had there.
Yeah,
He spends
which
it
allowed him to land. So he'll spend the focus to evade, and he spends his evade.
for no damage. Nice. Oh, he's got a range 1 with number 3. 2 hits.
And he gets a 0 and gets 1 evade, so C-3PO doesn't kick in. 4 hits with number 1. So he takes 4 hits and a crit. 3 hits and a crit, direct hit, double hit.
Only 3 hull left on Lando. Ouch.
So that one ship shooting, number 2 I think it was, landed 5 hits on Lando with that direct hit crit. And going into turn 8 here, we have Lando down to 3 hull, Chewbacca down to 7 hull, and 2 full B-Wings, 1 pretty healthy B-Wing, and the B-Wing number 3 there sitting at 3 hull, which will probably die next round.
Yeah, Jeff's in a tough spot here too because he's facing the corner with both his ships. He's got to make a maneuver that A, won't get blocked, and then B, can get him back into the center of the map so that he doesn't get pinned either off the board by a really good block, but also gets away from 2 and 4 that are chasing Chewbacca.
Yeah, and exactly here, from Ron's side, he wants to probably block both Chewie and Lando if he can with number 3 to prevent both of them from getting actions if he can.
Yeah, because those focus evade actions on both ships are so tough to eat through.
Yeah, I think he's doing that exactly. He's going to try to pin them right there in the middle.
It's a great play if it works out for him.
And number 1 is going to assist with that as well. Try to block the 1 turn from Lando. Lando is marked by the stress icon since he's always going to get stressed. Number 2 goes forward, gets a focus, and number 4 finally gets back into the fight. With a nice 2 bank.
Nothing wrong with
2
that.
turn.
Let's see what Chewie does here. That's a 3 bank. Wow.
3 bank, which
It's got to be a bump.
Oh wow. Let's enhance that and view it.
Wow,
That's half a millimeter.
Wow. he
just
gets by.
enough.
And gets both his actions. Focus evade.
Ron's not happy about that.
No. Oh, and here's a block here, but that was a green maneuver, so Lando will be able to pass Chewbacca in action. So a target lock. Now, who is he going to target lock?
Lando's ability activates on any green maneuver. which
Target
the
lock
bank
is no, number 1.
So he target locks number 1.
That's a little surprising, seeing as 3 you want to get rid of.
So I think he wants to shoot number 1 with both his ships because Lando is blocked and he can't shoot number 3. But number 1 has no shot.
Interesting.
So he does land 3 hits, strips the shields with Chewbacca, and now Lando's going to shoot. No actions on Lando. Lands 2 hits and 1 evade.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
interesting.
is down to 2, but
Yeah, he probably could have killed number 3 there if he had focused on
Mhm.
number 3 with
And
Chewbacca.
And that takes 1 extra shot away from.
From Ron, exactly, yeah.
Mhm.
so he evades that with Chewbacca. Number 2 shoots again at Chewbacca, I believe. No, at Lando, and takes 2 hits on Lando. Lando's down to 1 hull with the
Yeah.
1 ship left to shoot on him.
Yeah, Ron's got to take Lando out now if he can.
It's 2 hits.
1 hit lands. Ewer just rolls 1 evade, and there
he
goes Lando. First kill of the match. A big ship off the board.
For
52 points, which is pretty good. Basically more than half his list.
Mhm.
But Chewbacca can still do some work here.
This is a big uphill battle. This is Chewbacca against 4 B-Wings. He's got to pretty much take out these 2 injured ones right here in these next 2 turns, or
Or else, yeah.
he's in big trouble.
So this is turn 9 we're going into.
Mhm.
And the players know that this match is timed, so they are playing pretty fast, and we have it at double speed for you guys, just to avoid any delays.
Yeah,
So
Chewbacca's move's a little predictable here. He has to turn left to get back off the or onto the board, so he doesn't fly off the board. So Ron trying to get either as many shots on that as possible, or at least getting set up for the next run is critical.
So number 3 did a barrel roll. That's
That's-
interesting.
Right there, he's repositioning 'cause he wants to K-turn with this one. Yeah. And
Oh,
that
that's-
probably would have
good.
bumped if he didn't barrel roll, yeah.
I would have never thought of that myself, and this is why we're sitting
This
here
is-
and they're there.
Exactly.
So number 3, there goes Chewbacca, falls off. He's getting stressed, I think.
Yeah, he pretty much had to do that 1 turn, otherwise
would've
Jeff
been
would have been
off
off
the
the map. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a quick comment on the number 3 B-wing there, doing the 1 turn. Always take a focus, or always take a target lock if you can't shoot.
And wow, he kills number 1 there.
Number 1 goes down.
That was really good for Jeff.
He needs to kill a ship a turn, basically.
Oh, he got 2 evades there.
Fully evaded. 2 hits.
And 1 evade. So he loses another shield. And going into turn 10,
6 hull remaining there on Chewbacca.
6 hull with 2 full B-wings and 1 almost dead B-wing that's probably going to run away. Or do you think it'll try to join its
I think
friends?
3 and 4 can both turn back towards Chewbacca's flight path here, and then 2 can slow play to catch him as he's going around.
This is going to be a big move here. Chewbacca,
He wants to block him, right?
yeah, he's setting up for the block. He's going to barrel roll to get right in front of him. So yeah, this is either going to block, which will give number 4 a nice range 1 shot, or Chewbacca will jump over and give both blues a couple shots.
Okay, barrel roll. so he just focuses instead. And Chewbacca is blocked.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he has any shots on him. I don't think there is any shots.
Yeah, so that actually worked out quite well.
Yeah, so Chewbacca gets a free shot at that number 3 B-Wing.
Wow.
Oh, double evade though. So he gets a crit stun pilot after execute a maneuver that causes you to overlap. You receive 1 damage. But I don't think they're going to overlap. These guys know exactly where their ships is going to land with every single maneuver.
Yeah, I was really impressed with how much Ron can use that barrel roll to effectively maneuver his rebel swarm around, covering off as many angles as possible, but still getting multiple shots on wherever you land. I ran into that quite painfully.
Turn 11 going in with the B-Wing swarm, basically keeping Chewbacca in all their arcs for this movement turn, unless Chewbacca does something crazy.
4 moves in and focus. Hard turn by number 3.
That's a stress. Nope. That's it's a 2 turn, so that allows him to focus. And a 1 bank by number 2. Will
Probably setting up for the block. Yep.
Yep. He does barrel roll in that number 2.
Right. So probably setting up for next turn.
Where's he going?
Ooh,
that's a good
big move.
Great move.
Good move.
Wow.
Did
he get out of everyone's arc again?
I think so. Let's see.
Well, Chewbacca will shoot first. We'll have to see if
So he'll shoot at number 3, obviously, again. Range 1. Oh, hit and a crit. That's not good.
But
he's dead.
Yep. No evasion, and number 3 goes down.
So now 2 full B-Wings against an almost dead Chewbacca. Can't
Right
take
here.
any crits, every single hit is going to be
Hossie, they're
critical.
checking right here to see if number 4 is a shot, and I think Jeff got out of all arcs again.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a clutch play here.
So he managed to go 2 turns or 3 turns, no shots, and take out 2 ships, which is basically what he needed to do to stay in the game.
Yeah. At this point, he's up on points, and in a time match, this would be a good opportunity, depending on how close they are to the end, to just keep Chewbacca alive. That's all it's really of importance at this point.
I think they're about 10 minutes out to the end. So 1 B-Wing turns and crashes. So he's probably going to put more pegs on that YT.
Yeah.
Keep him high up.
Swarming in. I think that was a little bit of an overcommit there by number 2. Yeah.
And again.
Yeah. Jeff's going to be able to run away from that one's arc, I think.
Focus evade again, because he cannot afford to take any hits on that Chewbacca. A hit and a crit. He does not spend his focus and 1 evade, so he's slowly picking off those shields, plinking them off one by one. A focus and a hit.
Yeah, it's interesting here. We were talking at the start of the game, the asteroid placement. There's been a couple instances where players have landed on the asteroid, so obviously a good spot on where they were put, but also Jeff's got, again, that box where he's opened it up, so he's got some flexibility if he needs to run or try and get Ron guessing. He's given himself that opportunity where the ships have flown. So it's a small detail at the start of the game that plays out big later on in the match.
All right, dials are down here. Ron's giving chase.
Yeah, which is what we expected at this point, with 2 B-Wings chasing after the YT at this point. But the YT's trying to keep them at range 3 to get that extra evade dice.
Yep. Make sure you can get a shot back.
And he won't spend the focus, and he lands another hit. But now he's facing 2 shots on him. There's 2 hits.
Yeah, Ron
He spends the focus and the evade to avoid that. And 1 hit lands, and blank. Oh, he lands a hit. So all they did was exchange the 1 shield for 1 hull there. And now we're going into turn 13, lucky number 13. With the B-Wings don't go very fast unless they want to get stressed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting here. Even though time is almost up, both players are getting their dials down fast. Oh wow! Did he miss that asteroid?
He did.
Oh my goodness!
Millimeters. That's the second time he's been that close to an obstacle and managed to get his actions off.
I love your enhanced feature, Mr. Hosey.
Ooh, 3 hits on the B-Wing with
Couple more
L-point
shields. Couple more shields.
Couple more shields down.
So now we're getting closer to the end of the match. With the rules for Fantasy Flight, is that something that you usually should be seen in a final?
So the tournament rules state that a final of a premier event, which this is, should have been untimed. But they released a tournament rules update a few days before this tournament, and they omitted that rule actually. And then a day later they added it in. So it's quite possible that the TOs missed that rule. I know also that the venue that we're hosting here was closing.
Yeah, the venue was closing in about 10 minutes, so we needed to end this game and pack up.
Yeah, and both players, to the credit of the TO, both players knew what the rules they were playing. It's the same rule for both players, so I don't think there was much hardship on anybody's end and on having a timed final.
So going into turn 15 now, the B-Wings are giving chase, and he does a one bank and another one bank. Now, does he slow play or does he extend?
Looks like it goes fast.
He goes
again.
fast. If he took a one bank there, or a one forward, he would have been out of arcs, and I think he would have had another 2 free shots.
Yeah, I think Jeff wants to probably keep the distance just in case the B-Wings only went forward there.
So 1 hit and a crit, lands another hit on Chewbacca, and he focuses for another 2 hits, lands another 2 hits on Chewbacca.
Oh, wow.
Chewbacca's down to 2 hull against a full B-Wing and a half-life B-Wing, both in really good positions.
Yeah. We must be getting close to time here, Hossie.
Yeah, I think it's going down to like almost the last turn now. I think they're entering the last turn. The time has been called. And he tries to stay at range 3, but I don't think he did. Oh, that's range 2.
And it's not through the asteroid either.
So those 3 hits. 1 evade, so 2 hits.
I'm just going to have to survive 2 shots here.
So the back B-Wing lands 1 hit and flubs, and it's evaded. And lands 3 hits. He needs to roll.
He needs a focus or an evade.
And he rolls
Wow.
the focus.
2 evades and he's down to 1 hull. He survived
Down
that.
to 1 hull.
And that's it.
Game is called. What a great game to celebrate the Canadian Nationals, the first ever Canadian Nationals. These 2 players, really good players that managed to beat, I think, play 7 matches in a row. This is their 8th match. They did really well, and we'd like to congratulate both of them for this outstanding performance.
Both excellent pilots.
Yeah, and thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe.